Sophia Harris had always been the quiet one. The kind of girl who blended into the background of her small-town life in Ohio, surrounded by her group of friends who were all more outgoing and confident. But as high school graduation loomed, everything felt different. There was a restlessness she couldn't shake, a feeling that she had outgrown the life she'd always known, even if she couldn't quite put it into words. That summer, just after graduation, her parents decided to send her off to stay with her aunt in Chicago. "It'll be good for you," her mom had said. "A chance to see something different before college." At first, Sophia was hesitant. She'd never been to the big city before, and she couldn't imagine spending the entire summer away from her friends. But something inside her, a quiet voice she hadn't listened to in a while, told her it was time for a change. The moment she stepped off the train into the buzzing streets of Chicago, it felt like she had entered a different world. The noise, the people, the towering buildings, it was all so overwhelming, yet oddly exhilarating. Her aunt, Clara, was everything Sophia wasn't: confident, bold, and full of stories. Clara was a successful artist who lived in a loft apartment in the heart of the city, and every day felt like an adventure. In the beginning, Sophia stuck to the routine Clara set for her, attending art galleries, visiting quirky cafes, and wandering through the city. But then, one day, Clara suggested they take a trip to the lakefront, where artists often gathered to sketch or paint. It was there that Sophia met Ethan, a street artist who painted vibrant murals across the city. He had an easy confidence about him, a complete contrast to Sophia's quiet, reserved nature. Ethan took an immediate interest in her, noticing how Sophia seemed more like a spectator than a participant in life. "What's holding you back?" he asked one evening, his paintbrush sweeping across a mural of bright oranges and blues. Sophia hadn't ever really thought about it. There was a part of her that had always been afraid to stand out, to step away from what everyone expected of her. But with Ethan, she felt like she could breathe in a way she hadn't before. Over the weeks, their friendship blossomed, and with it, Sophia began to explore parts of herself she never had the courage to before. She took up painting, something she'd always admired from afar but never thought she could do. With Ethan's encouragement, she even created her first mural, a tribute to the town she grew up in, full of colors and shapes that felt like her own heartbeat. One night, Ethan took her to a rooftop party overlooking the city. It was a warm evening, and the skyline stretched out before her like an ocean of lights. As they watched the sun set, Ethan turned to her. "You know," he said, "this city doesn't just change you because of what it offers. It changes you because it shows you what you're capable of." Sophia thought about it for a moment. She had spent so much of her life trying to fit into other people's expectations, to be the person they wanted her to be. But in Chicago, in that summer of freedom and self-discovery, she had finally started to realize who she really was. When the summer came to a close, Sophia returned home, but she was no longer the same girl who had boarded that train months ago. She had found a new sense of purpose, a new way of seeing the world, and herself. And though she knew the journey of self-discovery would continue, she was no longer afraid to take the first steps into the unknown. As she unpacked her bags in her room, she looked at the mural she had painted on the wall, a mix of abstract shapes and vivid colors that represented the journey she had gone on. It wasn't just a summer mural. It was a map of who she had become, a reminder that even the smallest moments of change could lead to something beautiful.